Hey, hello, and welcome to the show. It's me, John Park, and it's time for JP's product pick of the week. Here we are. You'll never believe the weird duck that just ran through here, or a goose. I don't know. It was dancing. I'm excited for the show today. This is a cool one. What I want you to do is head on over to the product page because there's a big discount on this week's product pick if you go to this URL. Or if you head over to that QR code, you can watch this show inside because the YouTube is streaming from right inside the product page. Thanks to Jelly. Thanks, Jelly. Jelly posts that in there, updates the product page. And that means that you'll be ready, prepared to, if you want it, go ahead and get one or up to 10 of this week's product pick of the week at a steep discount. I believe it's 50% off. In fact, let's go check it out. I'm going to spoil the surprise. I think you know what it is, but I'm going to head on over to product page, refresh, and my goodness, it's 50% off. All right. So I encourage you to head on over there. That's the URL. But let's get on with it. What I'm going to do is have Lady Ada introduce us to this product when it was first launched. So please take it away, Lady Ada.
Is the Feather RP2040.
Woohoo! If you're watching this live, you might even have some in stock. That's right, the Feather RP2040. We got those chips in last week late, and then on Monday we got the PCBs and we ran them. We did a small run, and we'll be doing more. Okay, so stop here so I can point out all the things we got going on. So it is a feather. It's feather shaped, 2 inches by 0.9 inches, USB-C connector. A lot of our newer feathers have USB-C. It's got the standard JST battery connector. It's got battery charging built in. There's 2 buttons. On the left, there's a reset button. On the very right, there's a boot select button. For those who've played with the RP2040, you know that you have to press the boot select button while resetting or powering up to go into the UFT bootloader. So that's a great way to easily load code onto it. You don't need any special DFU utils or a special SWD programmer. But speaking of SWD programmer, there is an SWD header in the middle. It's not populated. Why? Because we wanted to keep this feather nice and slim. A lot of people like to kind of like make slim feather packages, and the SW header would make it kind of extra tall. So we left it out. That said, we sell the connectors to like $1. You can buy them DigiKey, a couple cents. Solder on the SWD connector should you wish to connect this up to a debugger like your J-Link or whatnot and use the debugger tools. Not a lot of people use the debugger, so again, it's an optional thing. There's an onboard NeoPixel that you can control. It's connected to one of the pins that isn't brought out. In CircuitPython, we use it to notify you about your program status, but use it for whatever you like. There's a crystal, and of course the RP2040 chip, right? This cool dual Cortex M0 runs about 125 megahertz. It's got 264K of RAM in it, which is wonderful. And because it has RAM but not flash, if you look on the very right-hand side, kind of between the chip and the boot select button, there is a QSPI flash chip. That's the execute in place flash. It's 8 megabytes. It's really chunky because it's going to be shared with your CircuitPython or MicroPython code, as well as the firmware running on the RP2040 itself. So for CircuitPython, at least, we take about 1 megabyte, and then you have 7 megabytes left for all the files and fonts and libraries and images and animations, audio, whatever you have, you stick it on that disk drive. So you have 7 megabytes left over, which is a good amount. If you're wondering why 8, you can watch last week's Desk of Lady Ada, and I'll tell you the secret, which is it was a thing that worked. And then last but not least, there's a STEMMA QT connector, so you can quickly connect all sorts of sensors and devices, OLEDs and such, into the end. We even have a Grove adapter cable, so if you have Grove I2C sensors, plug those in as well. The idea is to make it super easy for people to get started with CircuitPython on the RP2040. And speaking of, I have some feather projects I thought I would show off. So here I've got the RP2040, and here is the Feather M4 RGB feather wing, right? So this is for RGB matrix displays. As seen on the Matrix portal, people love these. They're used in pixel purses. They come in all sorts of sizes, and it's a really easy way to add tons of LEDs to a project. And I just have it on a doubler, so they're just connected side by side, so you can see both of them. And then when I power this with 5 volts, so the RGB feather wing is connected up to this matrix, and it's running this little animation, which is taking icons from a bitmap and then like swirling them around in CircuitPython. It's just an easy demo to show quick animations of iconography and bitmaps on RGB Featherwing. So that just shows like, you can plug and play existing Featherwings onto your RP2040 Feather.
Hey there, accidental dance break. Sorry about that. All right, so let me go ahead and grab my own right here from my little mystery box that I have sitting right here on the bench in front of me. Boing, that was a good sound. And there it is. That is the beauty right there. It is the product pick of the week. It is the Feather RP2040. So this is the feather that you want. It's, first of all, the chip that's most available in the world right now, we think. It has USB-C on it. It has dual cores. It's a Cortex M0 Plus, but running at sort of our M4 speeds. We got 8 megs of RAM on there. We have the STEMMA-QT quick port, so you can connect things up easily to it. There are 21 GPIO. It has 2 I2C buses, 2 SPI buses. There are, let me check my notes, 16 PWM pins on there. It has the built-in battery charging, so this is really a terrific board. It's kind of a go-to board for projects for me right now, as you've probably noticed, because as I've been building things lately, a lot of my projects have this in it. For example, here is the, get this over here, Feather Fader has 4 of our STEMMA-QT feather faders, not feather, 4 of our STEMMA-QT faders on it, as well as a 1x4 mechanical key switch. And this one I use to send out MIDI, a little mixer of mine, but that's got the little Feather RP2040 hidden red. I've also got a little Feather quadrupler here that I have that's actually also a MIDI project, and it's got mechanical key switches on it with a different feather wing, and I have a little OLED feather wing on there. Here's another one I demoed recently. This is the tripler, and I have a little screen, and I have a relay on there, relay feather wing. So feather wings make it all come together. You can plug a lot of these parts together and have this great feather to control it all that you can use CircuitPython on. You can also use Arduino. I'm not sure about MicroPython. Someone let me know if that's the case. You'll even notice that I've done stuff with the Cricut. So if you want to plug in a microcontroller into your robotics projects, I did this little animatronic doorbell around Halloween time. I've got the Feather RP2040 plugged into there. If we take a look over at the product page, you'll see there we've got some nice shots of it, some of the stats on here and specifications. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll get to some links, including the product main guide here, this primary guide, which is this over here. So this will take you through the pinouts, which are pretty extensive, as you can see by the pretty pins that we have here to let you know what all those pins do, as well as how to put it together, some different configurations for soldering on pins to it if you want. One of the things I love about it for quick testing of things is I don't need to solder anything on in order to plug in a little quick cable there and use any of our sensors with it. So same with displays and some of these input QTs that we have. And then there's info on getting your CircuitPython on there or using Arduino with it. If you head to the Learn system, you can slide this over here a little bit. You can see, just type in Feather RP2040 and you'll find a bunch of projects that were made with it. In fact, this is one that I use every day. It's this little mechanical keypad I built using our little snap-away quick connect, what do we call these? No solder mechanical key switch boards, and I've got the Feather RP2040 up there running that. And on. There's quite a few projects on here. It's a powerful processor, and it's got lots of RAM, so you can put on images. You'll see a lot of these are image-based projects. Same with music. If you want to play music right off of a CircuitPython device, it's a good one to look into for that. What else? So those are our some of our guides for it. Let's see, if we head on over to the Discord here, you'll see we've got a cool little add-on that C. Grover posted about here, which is a stem adapter to add underneath projects there, which is way cool. Let's go check that out. And let's see. Here are some nice, pretty pictures. Whoops, let me bring those back up. Of the board there. So you can see one of the nice things about this is that we've got both the sort of Pico style RP2040 pin names on the bottom there, so they're referred to as these GP numbers. And then on the top of the board, you can see we have the more standard feather naming of things, including breakouts for the I2C, as well as there's the I2C over the stemma QT at the bottom, and then a bunch of those pins there. So it's really nice how this brings this compatible into the feather ecosystem. One question that we have from Raspberry Pi Beret, great name, over in the Discord chat, is the best way to get Wi-Fi onto this. So we have the Airlift Feather Wing, which is a nice way to do it. It gives you an ESP32 coprocessor. So that's a feather wing that you can either plop on top of it or put them side by side on a little feather doubler or breadboards, hook those up, and then you can access Wi-Fi using this. I don't know if we have any in the works of other Wi-Fi solutions, but it will take a coprocessor, so you'll need some little side processing on top of the RP2040 to be able to do something like that. So that is the product pick. If you head back over to the product page here, you can see we've got them still in stock, maximum of 10 per customer, but that brings it down to $5.98, which is terrific. It's a great deal already at $12, but at this price point, it's getting pretty close to that $4 price of the sort of reference Pico board from Raspberry Pi. But here you get all of those great add-ons, such as USB-C, which we all love, the stemma QT connector, the battery charging built on board, so you can just plug a LiPo into there and do charging right onto there, as well as there's a NeoPixel built right on for status. So really terrific board, one of my favorites, one of the go-tos. Yeah, thank you. Todd over in the Discord posted a answer to that question about getting Wi-Fi. There is the Airlift Featherwing ESP32 Wi-Fi coprocessor, product ID 4264, and you can add that on. If you go actually, let me bring the product page back up. If you go and scroll down a little bit in here, you'll see these two product, new product videos. I forget which one, but if you look at those two, I actually edited down Lamore's original release video there, and a second project she shows does some Adafruit I/O stuff using the Wi-Fi coprocessor. So you'll see it in action right there if you check out one of those two videos. So that's gonna do it. Yeah, so someone, Raspberry Pi Beret said it's in the cart. Great. Remember, if you want to get the 50% off on this, put that in your cart and check out pretty much before the show ends or close to it, because the discount goes away. You don't need a coupon code or anything, but also means it's only a sort of time-based thing. So as soon as a little bit gets flipped, it'll go back to its regular price. So that's going to do it. That's my product pick of the week. It's one of my favorite feathers, one of my favorite boards to work with. It is the Feather RP2040. Put it up there on the board of product goodies. And thank you so much for stopping by for Adafruit Industries. I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week. Goodbye.